Hello, everyone. And you all... Is everything good? It's YouTube, baby. It's YouTube. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my goodness. Oh, I gotta steal my image from Twitter. Put it on Instagram so fast. Like some sort of hedgehog might do. Like a hedgehog's sort of favorite speed. For what? Oh, this isn't what I meant to do. No. Okay. All right, babies. Ooh, we live, baby. Hi, Clara. Hi, Catherine. Mason, hello. Thank you so many. I have a little heart here. What can I do with this? Is these just emote? Oh, gosh. Oh, never mind. Oh, no. What have I done? Oh, no. Uh-oh. I've made a mistake. How do I leave this? I'll go back. That worked. Okay. Okay, dope. Just ruined my chat box, like, immediately. Oh, my goodness. I hope you're all having a lovely day. How are you all doing? Oh, my gosh. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Let's go to Instagram. Post it there. This is always my process. Is that a Mr. Beast video on my Instagram? How dare. Sorry. Post this picture. Do it now. Do it now. Hoo. Oh my god. It looks good. Yeah, baby. Oh, interesting. Oh, woo! Alright, I'm not sure how much of a delay there is. Let's look. Let's go. Wow! Ah! Oh, look at that down there. The chat box works. It's beautiful. Hello, everyone. I don't know how much of a delay there is. It looks like it. Oh, no. You know what happened? I understand. It's not that bad. It's not that bad at all. Does this work? Alright, I'm not... Yeah, I can hear myself. Okay. Killer! Hi, everyone. Backflips in the chat. Hello! If you are somebody from Twitch and you have a different sort of a username, well, hot dog, I'm not gonna know. You're gonna have to tell me if I should know who you are. Oh my gosh. Listen, I've been so excited for this stream. I'm so happy to be doing this. It looks like it's working. I'm very excited. Oh my goodness. I had a whole process of like figuring out. This is my very first YouTube stream, everyone. So like, I had to add like different elements. I had to take away the Twitch stuff. And so now I have like different, how you say, I have like toggles for if I'm going to be on Twitch or YouTube. But I think it worked out okay. The chat box looks like not bad. Kind of looks like Comic Sans a little bit, but that's all right. All right, here we go, babies. Let's just jump right into it. Oh my god. Woo! Na. All right, I think that for this, the music's got to be a lot lower. We'll have like a little bit of music in the background. Cat, hello, good morning. How are you? How are you? All right. So what we have here today, if you were here for the last one I did over on Twitch, the last workshop, or if you watched the edited down version of that, or whatever, what have you, whatever it might be, we have a couple rules. So what we're going to do here today is we've been sent in a bunch of shorts by a bunch of different creators, and they are all looking for sort of constructive feedback on how I would improve these videos. the goal here is to help everybody. So, yeah, is everything looking okay? It looks okay on my end, but I'm not really sure. It looks like it's good. I'm watching the little preview. A bunch of different. Yeah. It's crazy. I don't know. So to that end, we got some ground rules. All the criticism here is going to be constructive criticism. We're not dunking on shorts or whatever, right? Creators come in all different sizes, and they're always in different parts of their journey. Boom, fine, boom. So that's we gotta keep that in consideration. And then there was a second rule, but I forgot what it was. And the third rule is just like, is all just my opinion, man. So anything that you might disagree with, that's okay. That's all right. This is just what I would do. There are lots of ways to skin a potato, as it were. All right, babies. So first off, I kind of arranged these. So we have this timeline of different shorts from a bunch of different creators. I've also changed the setup here a little bit so that I don't have to kind of constantly be making this full screen. It's always full screen. It's ready to go. What was I going to say? Yeah, so we have a bunch of these, and I didn't really have a theme in mind when I asked for the shorts, but surprisingly, a theme sort of just appeared in front of me with a lot of the different shorts people sent. And that is specifically in the interest of hooks. The beginning first few seconds of the short. A lot of these shorts that I got sent in deal with that, or like I have sort of a lot I feel to say about that. So we're gonna kind of keep that in mind as we go on. We're gonna be kind of focusing on that, not entirely, but that'll kind of be at the forefront of our little minds. Okay, so first off, we have a short from. Let me put this away. We have a short from. I don't know how to pronounce this. It's Civil Fortissimo on Twitter. So we're gonna kind of watch this once all the way through first, and then we'll kind of start workshopping it. So here we go.
Wheel of Ill. Part 2. Flashing part 4. Oh, okay. Green apple energy drink. Sriracha. I forgot to switch that. Lime juice is nasty. I forgot to switch this out. I can't do lime juice. I'm gonna replace that one with peanut butter. I'm sorry. More peanut butter. It's back. It's back again. There's so much fish sauce and peanut butter in this. I need something sweet after this. Okay, when I said by sweet, I meant something like honey, not a crushed orange soda. Taco sauce. Yay! The green apple is actually making it smell amazing. So, okay, that's not what I mean. Wait. Excuse me. Water.
A few moments later.
Okay, so, did it take you a while, dear viewers, to kind of figure out what was going on here? Because same, if so. Same, if so. I think that the content of this short is very interesting, because I'm assuming, I'm still not 100% sure, but it seems like every spin of this wheel, they're adding a bunch of stuff into a cup, and then they're gonna drink the yuck that is created. But
Part 2. Flashing part 4.
But this doesn't. Part 2, part 4, like, there's a couple things going on here that I think will perhaps like make a viewer not want to stick around for this. So, in the interest of hooks, so I don't really know what's going on for like a while. I'm like trying to piece together what is happening. Yeah, you assume they're adding stuff to the milk and then drinking it. Yeah, so it's like, but I think at the very beginning, like, I don't really figure that out for like a little while. So I think something like, in this instance, like, this is going to be a little hard for me to sort of edit this in, right? But, for me, I would like, we start off, like, the hook is sort of like this retching, right?
Part 2. Watching part 4. Oh, okay, okay.
Like, instead of all that, instead of saying the Wheel of Ilk, probably the kind of thing that I would do in this instance is just, like, use these, you know, four and change seconds to kind of be like, you could say real quick, like, I got a glass of milk and I put some gross stuff in it. And then Wheel tells me to put stuff in it. And then everybody's, like, immediately, like, on board. They know what's going on. And so each yucko thing, the Char-Gel? Is that? I don't know what this is. You got that. It's like, spicy. Lime. Peanut butter. Oh, no. And you're on board. We're all on the same page. Instead of, like, you know, because at the first time I watched this, I wasn't, like, super sure. It's like, oh, are you just having a little bit of this? Like, are you just having some hot sauce? It's like, why are we rolling so many times? You know what I mean? So to that end, I think just, like, giving us the context that we crave, that plants crave, right at the head, will kind of make this, you know, because this is like almost a minute long short, which if you can keep people around for, like, that's excellent. Like, the algorithm's gonna eat that up with a spoon, you know what I mean? So you get people on the same page, and then we start escalating. So in this instance, I almost feel like, and this is sort of gonna be a lot of work, right? But my general idea for this, because we have the pictures show up, and I assume that this is in editing, right? Like, this isn't part of the wheel. I feel like this was edited in after. Contextualize, yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna find we're gonna find a drinking glass PNG. Let's see. So this is sort of my, like, idea. So we're gonna just download this. This is gonna be like, in theory, you would spend a little more time finding the perfect image. But for our purposes, we're gonna find something that's probably a little low res and just kind of make it drinking glass. Put this in the folder for what we want. Assets. I haven't made the asset folder yet for this. Here we go. All right, so everything's set up now for that. And we'll just drop this in. So come back to OBS. So now I've got sort of this glass that I've dropped in. So, oh, here we go. So kind of like everything's going to be a little, all the windows I've rearranged to make it look good on stream, but now I'm not, like, instantly aware of where they might be, if I'm a little bit slower. So for this sort of a thing, we have these, we have, like, the sriracha, right? So if we're making a big glass of disgusting drink, I think showing visually kind of all of these ingredients together might be the way to go. So, like, if this is a green, like a green goo or whatever, right? Like, we could make a color mat. There's a lot of things we can do here. Let's assume it's like kind of like a this color for the green mat. Alex, hello. Lachlan, welcome. I'm doing great. How are you all doing? Thank you for making the voyage over to YouTube. So this is kind of just stuff I'm thinking of, like, right here on the fly. So what I'm gonna do is, once we get to the first thing, I'm gonna make this glass kind of show up for the whole video. And then I'm gonna actually go ahead and, no, I think, yeah. So here we go. So we're gonna add this green mat here. And what I want to do is kind of make it so it's just filling up a little bit of this cup. So if we kind of, well, we can just do a mat, actually. That's probably a smarter idea. So we'll make a round mat, even though, no, that's silly. I'll make a square mat. And then we kind of have it come down here to the corners. And we just fill it up like a little bit, you know, a little bit. And you can kind of do a thing where it's like, if we wanted to. So now that we have this there, we can kind of like, where's this end? So at the end of the first roll, we make a cut here. We can do a crop filter here. And then we're going to kind of like, I want to illustrate like, hey, this is filling the cup up with this yuck. And what would I do? It's the crop down here. So like, we're going to set a keyframe on the top, because right now there's a 0% crop. And then we'll go to the bottom. Though, honestly, it kind of fills up about here anyway. So let's make another keyframe here. So the crop is like assuming that there's no mask. So it's cropping from, you know, 0% to 100% in either direction. Hey, hello. Glass is a clever way to show with the context. Yeah, thank you. I think like this sort of thing ties everything together visually, because we're showing what it is. But then we're like keeping it in your mind. It's not sort of a lot of different like disparate individual things. It's like, no, we're making something disgusting. So since this is kind of where this ends right here, I'm going to, we're also gonna, oh no, I guess that's fine. Yeah, once it stops, so we'll actually say like there. We'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of this keyframe, and so now it'll slowly fill up. Oh, actually, same deal with the bottom. So we'll actually kind of make the keyframe there, delete the first one, then move these over. Making something disgusting.
Okay, green apple energy drink.
And then maybe we could have like a power. I don't know if I really have any kind of power up effects, but something like a boop kind of a thing, like it's filling. I have a rise that might kind of like this will probably do the trick, but you could find a better sound effect certainly.
Okay, green.
So like once the cup shows up, and then like, you know, you can kind of have the I want to keyframe. I've just sort of put the cup here, but you know, you get the idea.
Oh, okay. Green apple energy drink.
Then that fills up, and then we have the green. We're gonna kind of make this a bit of a mess at the moment, but then we get sriracha. We kind of do the same thing. So this is gonna be a lot of color mats. We'll try and color match the bottle. Red mat. Red mat. And we would do the same thing, right? So we would, where's my effects control, everything, and nothing's where I think it should be. So then we would do the same thing. We'd kind of like, though honestly, it would probably make the most sense to kind of be putting things underneath the other one. So if we send, it's like it does that, we're not going to overlap the green. The green will stay where it's supposed to be. We can kind of like make another layer, and we would do the same thing. We would like keyframe it filling up and filling up and filling up. So if we, you know, had a bunch of different ones of these, I'll just make a couple more. So what do we got? We got we'll do the lime juice. We'll make like a hot green, lime green, and then we'll also make, I think peanut butter was next. So we'll do kind of like a peanut. That's kind of close. Peeba bubber. I was so confused. Oh, we're on YouTube, baby. Hello, off. I got your video in. I got it in. Okay. So if we search Matt now, so if I put the, Oh, where are they? What? Oh, that's weird. Okay. So we would kind of be doing this. I'm kind of doing this in sort of a crazy way, but stick with me here. So we got the lime and we got the peanut butter. Oh, I didn't name the mat is why. Okay. So we have the mat and we have that, and then we're going to make sure that all of these guys at their peak are going all the way to the end, right? This is sort of a lot of work a little bit, but let's mute that for a sec. But I think like this sort of a thing really would sell the bit in a visually interesting way. Okay. So we got that, boop, 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 boop. If we unmute this guy, woo, takes notes. Hey, thanks. And then, yeah, this is the cool thing about YouTube is that once this is done, it'll just be, like, available. I don't have to do a single dang thing. I think, anyway. So now, we'll assume that we kind of, like, filled this all the way up, right? But what I'm going to do now is we're going to nest this entire thing. So we're going to actually name this, we'll name it glass. Now we're going to go into the glass, and I want to... Now I'm just going to nest all of the things inside. And the reason I'm going to do that, get that down now, is that I want to add a wave warp filter to just the liquids. So it starts off pretty crazy, but like if you sort of lower the wave width, then it's like, now it's like, ooh, we got water in there, baby. You know, it's a liquid. This might even be... Like, if we have it kind of like this, we can even lower the wave speed maybe by over half. So now it's like, it's not so active. But now when it fills up, you know, it like that, I didn't animate all these, but like this first one filling up, it looks like you're filling it with a liquid, you know? And now it's just like, ooh, we got all this stuff, baby. Worst ice cream sundae. How do you decide what's too much for a gag? It's usually just like for me a time thing. So, oftentimes I've had it happen lots and lots of times where I think up a funny thing, like a bit, and I'll start the very beginning process of like making this happen and immediately decide like this is gonna take too long. Like usually for like my clients that I work for, I typically don't... I try to avoid going over sort of the hour-long length that I tell them, like, typically that the shorts are going to take. Unless there's extenuating circumstances. Red leather, yellow leather. And to that end, it's like, oh, this might be funny, but, like, this one gag might take me, 20 minutes. I don't really... Is the 20 minutes going to be worth it? And usually, probably not. Unless it's some core thing. In this instance now, so if we go back, then it's like, we can see everything in action.
I can't do lime juice. I'm gonna replace that one with peanut butter. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so we got peanut butter, we got this stuff in there. And now we can, like, move the cup in, so...
Okay, green...
So as this is filling up, we can keyframe it, like right here. I made sure this was a 60 FPS sequence this time. So we're gonna kick this guy off. And then he'll come over, and then we add, like, a whoosh when the cup comes in. I got so many whooshes. I got whooshes for days. So a whoosh right at the beginning of this.
Green apple energy drink.
And then you would kind of just replicate this process across the board. In addition to kind of trimming, I think in a general sense, this one keeps it, like, pretty tight. There is some things that I feel like maybe, I could see kind of cutting out. There's some explanation about something at one point.
I need something sweet after this. Okay.
There's like a lot of this dead air that, like...
Yes. I need something sweet after this.
Like, we could just... Right when it comes up, Orange Crush.
After this. Okay, when I said by sweet, I meant something like honey. Sweet, I meant something.
And if you're here for the last one, and if you're here for future ones, you'll probably... Can we have a cute little beach umbrella? Yeah. Yeah, we could do that. I like it. I think it's funny when, like, stuff is like...
Okay, when I say by sweet, I meant
when it just cuts off.
honey, not a crushed orange soda. Tacos.
So, if, like, we kind of, like, go to the end... I also see a little bit... These are easy enough to fix, but just being really careful about how your cuts are. Like, I see there's, like, a couple frames here where the text isn't on the screen yet. So stuff like that I would always, like, kind of just, like, fix up. But, like... If we delete this part, like, we kind of just, like...
Okay.
If we put my favorite bamboo, we'll put a bamboo here to kind of add like a oops sound effect.
Okay,
and then we'll also kind of like this sort of a thing. We'll just zoom in.
Okay,
kind of like a little bit.
Okay, when I said by sweet, I meant something taco salad.
Yeah, like
I meant
like we can kind of
I meant taco salad.
and then we just like come like maybe another sound effect to be like, oh well, we didn't get what we wanted.
I meant taco salad.
So something like that might be a bit to taste, but this sort of thing, I think, like it does double work of kind of like cutting the length of the clip down, as well as like adding a bit of comedy to it. Let me just add a drink umbrella. as asked. Drink umbrella PNG. What do we got? Yeah. Let's add a little pink one. No, we can just download this. I don't have to go through several other websites. Okay. So actually, we'll go in here. We'll add it. To the top, it's little. It's little. Put the glass on top. And, yeah. Honestly, yeah, let's rotate it so it's just chilling. It's just vibing right there. No big deal. There we go. I mean, taco sauce. Okay. So in a general sense, like we haven't like start to finish, like recreate, like done a new version of this one, but like because we don't need to go through all the steps of me doing this. That would take a while, but you get the idea. And then when we get to the end, we can cut the drink out for this.
A few moments later.
Maybe you could do a thing where it's like, where perhaps you, actually, thinking back on it, instead of that, maybe we'd get rid of the glass here. We would, oh shoot. We would center the, I see. We would, why does it not think that's the center? Oh, maybe the picture is kind of weirdly things. So, like, we could do something like where we put the glass now front and center. And then, like, if we go back into the nest, if you double click on the nest, it's supposed to bring you to the part that it's, you're looking at within the nest itself. So now, if we kind of just, we don't need to cut here necessarily. Oh, did that work as intended? Oh, maybe I see. I think it just, no, it changed the, oh, interesting. Okay, well, we'll just re-nest it. That'll fix that problem. Just nest it forever. Okay. Tiny umbrellas always make things better. You got a toothache, tummy ache, broken arm? Tiny umbrella. And at the end here, I would like maybe add a crop. A crop. And then just on the liquid part, right? So if we find where the liquid sort of starts, maybe about here, top, and then how many frames is this? Sometimes if I'm not sure how long, if I've like kind of gone a little wild with things, you can paste in, oh, I guess I can't do that. You can paste in like a little chunk. You can copy this, just to get a sense of the timing. So I'm going to just put this here real quick, just so I know this is how long I need, and I can get rid of it. You can count the frames too, but that's a little easier. So if we go now to the end of this, we would just go all the way down to 0. And then now this simulates like, oh, they've consumed it.
A few moments later.
He had like that rise. We can take that exact same rise sound effect. Right click, go into the speed duration, and inside here you can reverse speed, and this works on sound effects. So
A few moments.
So it's like once it kind of starts, this isn't really long enough, but
A few moments later.
and then I would cut back in right on the sound effect personally. So we're gonna kind of do the J cut, L cut, whatever cut, kind of cut.
A few moments later.
Yeah, and then it cuts over here before we hear any audio, so I'm also gonna kind of like fix that. Pull these back out.
A few moments later.
And then again with the text, like, see at the end, like the text didn't like go all the way to the end, so just like being careful about things like that. If you know, the plus and the minus, I live and die by those. You can also click here. You can set up other hotkeys to kind of get real down into the nitty gritty, just to make sure, like, you know, hypothetically, if I extend that out here, that might be close enough, but it's not, and now I know that for sure because I've zoomed in all the way, right? Hold on, I'm gonna get this frog out of my throat. Maybe that frog's gone. Where'd that frog go, everyone? Where'd that frog go? So these are sort of my these are my thoughts on this one. I think this one has a lot of like good things going for it, with just a little bit of tightening up and maybe kind of like adding this visual aspect to it would help a lot. I also feel like in a general sense, like if we kind of strip away everything a little bit, they've got it set up. I don't know perhaps how maybe this was like recorded, but doing a thing like just like adding visual dynamic visual changes, however I might say that. So it's like, okay, we have this, we see her, and then like for the second one, it's like perhaps we don't need to see, or I should say, like, you know, we can like use this as an opportunity, effects are here, to just say like, oh, second roll, Sriracha, and then like, and then we kind of cut back, so there's like something,
Apple energy drink.
you know, and then like whatever, like if it's something extra bad, we add a dramatic boom, or like, you know, or whatever, right? Like that kind of thing. And then that just adds to it's like, uh-oh, you know, these kind of sound effects are just like, oh, this is the worst one.
Sriracha.
And then that honestly works. I mean, it's a little blurry, but like,
Apple energy drink.
that works even a little bit better than I was anticipating. And then again, I see a little more examples of kind of like just being careful about cutting, because we're on to the Sriracha now, but it still says roll 1 for a frame. So we can just fix that. Leo, hello. How are you? Good to see you. Well, I'm happy when people have the same, the same, like, username across the board. Okay, so those are kind of my thoughts on this. We don't have, like a finished product in this case, but, kind of making these kinds of changes across the board, I think, would be helpful for this. So that was, again, this is, Civil Fortissimo. That's their username on Twitter. I credited, here in my, like, notes, whatever platform the video came from. So if it's from TikTok or YouTube, that's how I put it. So next up, we have one from, Sugar Chapeau, it looks like. So we're gonna, I'll kick this guy back over. And let's see, let's save also. I can also see, before I play this, this one's, like, pretty quiet. So we're gonna just kind of guess, like, we're gonna adjust it by 9. I'm gonna add a hard limiter. A hard limiter, we'll just say -1. So that we can hear a little better.
Hey, the only way to get good at something is to start doing it. It doesn't matter what it is. Once you start, you can keep going. Even if you're bad at it, it doesn't matter. You learn from your mistakes. So, the best way to live your dream, to achieve the goals you want to achieve, is to start today. You can do it. You got this.
Okay, so, so this creator, we're gonna, I don't know how they like to be referred to. I'm gonna refer to them as Sugar. Sugar. It looks like a little hummingbird, PNG tuber. So, as I mentioned kind of at the top, we are all at different stages of our content creation journey. Right, I'm like coughing like crazy, I'm sorry. So we have here, this creator has their PNG model, right? It looks like we got talking and not talking. For a short, people just sort of don't want to look at a static image, basically ever, right? So sort of to that end, we're gonna see how we can work with what we have. So we're going to address sort of that and what I might do to kind of take this inspirational message and punch it up. But additionally, since this is sort of an informal workshop on hooks, we're going to kind of look at this hook because this starts off with black. We fade into their logo.
Hey.
And it takes... Let's see. It takes this long. What if we pull this to, we'll pull this here. So if we go here, it takes almost 5 entire seconds for anything to happen. And 5 seconds is typically, the maximum of the sort of grace period that people can be expected to stick around, if they like your short or not. Like 5 seconds, like people usually know, like, within that time frame, like, hey, do I want to give this video a shot or not? And if sort of nothing's happening, we see a logo. You know, it takes almost 3 seconds to see your model, and then another 2 to hear any words, right? Yeah, 3 seconds is what I like to do, but like, some, like, you know, 5 seconds is, like, really just, like, the max you can expect to kind of get away with an explanation or, you know, whatever, like, but 3 seconds, I agree, is like, a better, mark to kind of aim for. So, in this instance, I would, like, you know, like, I've mentioned before, like, I don't think that, you know, you should never start with, like, a logo like this. Like, you could kind of, like, if you felt like you wanted it, if I wanted to say, what if I just, let's see. We can kind of, we're gonna cheat it. I'm gonna add a frame hold to this under clip, video options, add frame hold. So this will make it so that this clip is just the same as whatever frame I activated that on. So we're gonna give this a blend mode now of screen. And this isn't like a perfect solution, but you can kind of like, you know, if you wanted to, you could kind of like put your logo somewhere. You know what I mean? Just to sort of give an idea. You could do that easier just if you have all the files, certainly. But you want to do promo. Found the middle is good. Yeah, the middle is good if you're feel like you have a real interesting thing. You can just be like, hey, are you still here? Like hit that follow button, like whatever, right? That can be good. So and then similarly for the end, like there's a really long call to action. Nobody's gonna stay for all this. So I think
You got this.
you got this. We just get out. We're just gonna get rid of that. We're gonna get rid. Oh shoot. We're gonna get rid of the whole beginning section.
Hey,
Yeah, we're just gonna start on hey. So we're gonna get rid of all of those things. So now that we've done this, and you know, I don't necessarily need to leave this here. Are we allowed to just post shorts for critique here? So not for this stream. I will. I'm not sure what the best system is going to be. I keep doing it on Twitter. Like I ask for submissions on Twitter. Usually with about 5 days in advance, sort of a thing. I don't know how often I'm going to be doing streams like this, but would you say call to actions don't work much? So the problem with call to actions, especially like at the end of a short, is sort of like if the call to action is just like, hey, like, follow, subscribe, that kind of thing. So I know that TikTok for sure does, so I have to assume that all the other competitors do the same thing, where they have a metric of completion, video completion. So people scroll away. You leave on you if you're watching a regular YouTube video, like people typically, you know, they're like, hey, thanks for watching, blah blah blah. And people click away because the video's over. So if you know, a lot of people won't watch the last like 10 seconds, and that can hurt retention for just a regular YouTube video sometimes. So you see, like, you know, I don't know how annoying it is to refer to Mr. Beast all the time, but I'm gonna do it. He ends his, even though his videos are just like retaining machines, he still ends all of his videos just like, usually with like a quick like goodbye or like an explosion just suddenly, so that it doesn't hurt the overall retention of the video. So to that end, with shorts, something like this, like even if it was shorter, even if it just like cut to this,
you got this.
That is more than enough time for somebody to be like, oh, okay, I'm done. Did I enjoy that? You know, yes or no. If they're gonna like it, they would have liked it anyway. You might remind some people that'll be like, oh yeah, I did. Okay, I'll like, whatever. But then they're gonna click away. So it's the kind of thing where I almost feel like it's sort of hard to describe. Mr. Beast, whoa. It's sort of hard to kind of like put into words, but like oftentimes I feel like if I see like in the middle of a video, you know, if it was like a video like a short like this, like I feel like what you want to aim for is just making a good video, and then people will like it and follow it organically. You know what I mean? Like there's I feel like there's sort of a culture of like, hey, I have to like eke out, I have to carve out every single like, as many likes as possible. But what that ends up doing, and as many like subscribe, you know, like I gotta like put a a subscriber reminder, like right in the first, like you hear a lot of like YouTube videos. They're like, you got to put it in the first 3 minutes of your 20-minute video, and maybe that'll get people to be like, oh yeah, I will, sure. But like a lot of those people aren't gonna finish the video just like anyway. Like most people just aren't gonna finish like your YouTube videos, and so then you've got a subscriber that like didn't finish your video. And then when your new videos pop up, maybe they aren't even like that interested. So you've got like this dead subscriber, and then that can like hurt your whole YouTube channel, right? So I think like putting calls to action, so we're kind of getting like, we're talking about not shorts now. In a regular YouTube video, my understanding and kind of like what I feel is the best practice is to put it kind of like maybe in like the middle of the video, kind of like we've been saying, but specifically after a very exciting moment. You want like emotions to be high, and like, the viewer maybe is already sort of satisfied with what they just saw, and then you're like, hey, are you having a good time? Like the video. I also think on YouTube asking people to like the video is infinitely better than asking people to subscribe. I didn't come up with this idea. There's a YouTube channel called Channel Makers that is championing this idea, because it gives your current subscribers something to do. If you're already subscribed and it's like, hey, hit that subscribe button, then they can't do anything. But if you're like, hey, hit that like button, they're just gonna subscribe if they're interested already. You don't need to like trick people into subscribing, I guess. You know what I mean? And then they're engaging with the video, and that helps your video on a technical level, blah blah blah. So that was sort of a long answer to that, but I hope that got to sort of the core of it. So in a short, I almost feel like I think the point I was sort of getting at is like, with all that said, in a short, if in the middle of this thing there was like a little graphic with like the don't forget to like sort of a thing, that almost makes me feel like this video is like cheap. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, this feels like something 5-minute crafts would do. Am I on the same par of absurdity as 5-minute crafts? You know what I mean? Or like any sort of like Facebook video kind of a thing. That sort of thing. So subscriptions are a vanity metric and generally a one-time thing per user. Every user could potentially click like on the video. Exactly. Hello, also Ghost Girl Blues. I like that name. So coming back to Sugar here.
Hey,
there are a couple things. So this is effectively three, we have the background as a static image, and then the model's like bouncing around, but it's like, it's two, images, right? So, and then just sort of on another technical level, this is a little too low and a little too small, for the font for me. Like, I would prefer to see the font up here, especially if this is on, this was on YouTube, so the bottom isn't so, junked up with like text and stuff, but, just keeping your font, your text, your on-screen text, like kind of in the middle-ish as much as possible is what I would always advise. Also kind of center aligning, like left aligning, I don't think, for me, doesn't look like the best. But with all that sort of out of the way, right, we have this now core issue of like, how do we make this look more visually dynamic? And I think in this instance, it's a lot of, it's sort of keyframing other static images, right? So,
hey, the only way to get good at...
And then also, I know this is like it's sort of like an ASMR-y kind of, what's the word for this? It's like a, not an aspiration. What is this called? This is a, I forgot what you call this sort of thing. It's like a daily, yeah, I guess is that the right word? That's something like that.
Hey, the only way to get...
So, we're gonna assume, like, that we're gonna keep, like, kind of... It's gonna be a little bit slower, but I do want to speed it up. So, the music is no longer gonna sound great, but
the only way to get good at
we're just gonna
is
pretend
to start doing it.
So I'm gonna kind of immediately cut up the little bits of dead space here.
It doesn't matter what it is. Once you start, you can keep going. Even if you're bad at it, it doesn't matter. You learn from your mistakes.
This isn't actually. It's like kind
So-
of close. There's not too much of this. But like as you were editing, it's a little more difficult for me here. But like as you were editing it, you can take out things like breaths. You know, J-cut. Maybe like a frame or two.
So, the best way to live your dream, to achieve.
Yeah. So let's. Bow. We'll cut this guy. Cut that there.
To achieve the goals you want to achieve is to start today. You can do it. Start today.
So
You can do it. You got this.
So the tone of this isn't like comedy, you know. This is Thank you, Clara. That is literally a daily affirmation. Yeah, this is kind of like, I don't know if this is like literally that, but it's kind of got that idea, that like vibe to it. So
Hey, the only way to get good at something is
I'm gonna also now kind of cut up each idea, even if I didn't cut it up for time,
to start doing it.
just so I have a
Doesn't matter
visual
what it is.
indicator.
Once you start, you can keep going. Even if you're bad at it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we're gonna kind of.
You learn from your mistakes. So, the best way to live your dream, to achieve the goals you want to achieve, is to start today. You can do it. You got this.
Okay, so I know the music kind of sounds awful now, but so basically, what I would sort of suggest is like we're gonna kind of like play around. Oh shoot, let me actually. I'm just going to. We don't need to worry about this thing that I added on here. So yeah, we're gonna kind of like. I want to just see some movement. So for this first one, we're gonna kind of like.
The only way to get good at something is to
And again, like, you know, if you had the power, I could make the text not be moving, but
start doing
just to kind of add some sort of visual,
doing it. It doesn't matter.
you know, dynamics. And then for the next thing, a lot of videos like this, you kind of just have some like nice stock image of like a, you know, like a sunrise or something. I don't want to know what time the sunrise is. Here we go. So like this sort of thing. One moment. So like you can kind of like put this kind of a thing on it. And now we're just sort of looking at something different. The text would of course be on top.
It doesn't matter.
And this is like a little bit not high res enough, but we're just pretending. So
It doesn't matter what it is.
So then it
Once
would
you start,
come in there and like
you
maybe
can keep.
maybe like a once you start you can keep going. So maybe I find like a track runner kind of a thing. Yeah, here's like a picture of some track runner. And this kind of like it you know, the sunrise isn't necessarily tied. You could like probably do a better job of tying the. Why is that so little? It said it was enormous. Oh, I saved it from Google. Oh, it's the Wall Street Journal picture. Oh man. Okay, hold on. Maybe this one. This also. Oh, I don't know. They're being fussy with the images it'll let me take. And if I go into the, here we go. Okay, so we're gonna overwrite this one. There we go. Okay. So we'll put that down, and then we'll kind of like, you know, you could do a thing where it's like you start here. It's just like little movements. It doesn't have to be a lot.
Doesn't matter what.
And in this case also, I would, because of the nature, it's like, it's a slower video. So I could see like, kind of adding just cross dissolves here. There is something that, this is sort of a, so your keyframes are going to be wherever you left them on the clip, right? So if you're adding cross dissolves, you have to account for that because it's adding more time to the clip. In this instance, it's pretty obvious.
Doing it. It doesn't matter what it's
So like if we kind of like fade in here, but now, so you see if I click here, it's at the edge. If I add a cross dissolve here, it's no longer at the edge. So if we watch this,
once you
there's going to be
once you
2 moments where the image isn't moving. So all we have to do is make sure that we kind of click in here and like fix these if that's what we're doing. So now there's no point at all that there's not movement happening, right? I gotta drink this tea, baby. I'm almost out of tea already. It's only been an hour.
It is once you start, you can keep going. Even if you're bad at it, it doesn't matter. You learn from.
And then like, yeah, we can kind of come back to the model. Maybe we punch in here, just do something a little bit different. A real sort of slow zoom.
Mistakes. So the best way to live your dream.
And now we have a dream, so like, I don't know, maybe something like a, I'll type in happy sleeping. See what yeah, okay, so we got like, I see a lot of, like, these are a lot of like daytime pictures, so I think what I want, I'm gonna add the word nighttime. Here we go. So like, here's just like a picture of some lady sleeping and it's nighttime and she looks happy. So we could do something like this. We can kind of pop this sort of a thing in.
So
maybe it's like this so is so long, so I feel like we punch in here, we have an say we'd like maybe have that
the best way
zooming in, and then we can do the same thing where I'm just making these full screen, but you could do any sort of number of things, right? We're just keeping this real simple. Amethyst May, hello. Oh yeah, I'm so glad. Welcome. It's you, I know you. I hope you're having a good Sunday so far. Okay.
The best way to live your dream.
That honestly, that feels almost too fast to me for this, so we can slow this down.
So, the best way to live your dream.
Yeah, that's better.
To achieve the goals you want to achieve.
And then I don't know, sometimes if I don't know like what kind of an image, like my first thought is like a soccer goal, but that's a little wild. Like that doesn't feel like the right thing, or like, you know, whatever kind of goal. So if I just type in goals and then go to image search, like sometimes that can you know, be inspirational. Oh yeah, okay, so like here we go. So like I see like there's a little mountain here, so now I have an idea. Like that feels good, like a mountain climber. So let's see what happens. We're gonna type mountain climber. Yeah, so here we go. So then there's like this image. Sometimes you have to be careful, like with the images you take. A lot of times, I don't feel like it really is a big deal, depending on the type of thing that you're taking. But you definitely don't want to like use anyone else's like art or anything that kind of that isn't stock, that like has somebody's faces in it. But for the most part, like as long as you're not like I don't know, going crazy, like it'll be fine. You do want to be careful though, depending on the kind of thing you're looking for, because you wouldn't want to like trouble. So now we have this image. This is a Shutterstock picture, but it's like the low res Shutterstock. You know what I mean? Like this sort of thing is fine. And this is like, I want to make sure I see this whole thing. So we're going to do my low opacity trick where I'm going to double this up. We're going to zoom this guy out. And then I have a low opacity blur preset that I made that is just a low, like a Gaussian blur and a 50% opacity filter. So then now we can kind of focus on this. There's something in the background that matches, and we don't have to cut off either of these people's like bodies, basically. So I'm actually going to, so we're gonna, ooh, actually, you know what? No, I'm going to undo these keyframes because actually I'm gonna nest. Ooh, okay, actually, no, this is good because setting the tone with the video with images is a good point. Yeah, you got it. It's like, you know, I usually edit for comedy, and this isn't a comedy video, but like I still like know what kind of, you know, the approach to take, right? Did you plan on making a video on how to use this program? So this is Adobe Premiere. Most of the videos I'm gonna make are gonna kind of be Premiere tutorials, for the most part. I will say I do have a some of my videos kind of like, I have the OBS one, how to get started recording shorts in OBS, and that kind of like, I feel like that gave a little bit of kind of general tutorial on this. But I could make like a shorter thing that's kind of just for Premiere. It's an interesting one. Across TikTok and YouTube, sometimes subtitles I place are cut off by the sides. Any exact values? I mean, I typically just like the fonts that I use. I just try and like use a TV safe mode mentally. Like you kind of have like you can kind of just assume like, don't put words down here at all. This is maybe a safe zone. This is like a better zone up here. Try and never have any words like over here or anything important specifically over here, and nothing specifically at the top. I see a lot of times people, and I think we'll see some examples of this, where the text is like at the bottom, and you just never ever want to do that. I don't have like exact numerical values, but just sort of visually, you know, you really want to just kind of keep it like this middle area is the best place for words and things. Trying to Premiere, but there's so much. There is a lot. I don't know everything about Premiere, and I've been using it for almost a decade at this point. Yeah, important stuff never goes on the edges. If you really want to, you can add, how do I do this? You click on your display window, and then you view guides, show guides. I have a guide set up for 1920 by 1080 video that just shows me what the middle of the video is. If I make a new, let me see if I can just show that real quick. If I make a duplicate of this, yeah, we'll duplicate this guy. Well, just to show an example. Sequence settings. I didn't realize it's the 720 thing. But if I open this, you can see like I have this guide set up. So like if I'm doing any editing, I'm like, okay, this is for sure the middle. For things like if I'm zooming in on my screen, it's like, oh, that looks like it's the middle. Do I look like I'm centered? But I might not 100% be. So this sort of a thing can help. So you can turn that on and off by clicking on this, and then show guides, and you can like add guides. You can do this whole thing. I don't want to get too distracted by that, but that's something you can do. So you could set up a guides that's like kind of just on the edges, because you can make whatever lines you want. And just so you never put anything, if that's the kind of thing that would be helpful, you know. But we're gonna delete that because we don't need that. So right now for here, what I want to do is I want to cross dissolve these two images together. But what's gonna happen if I do this, if I nest this, right, and then I cross dissolve here, what's going to happen? Well, because this is just its own self-contained clip, you can see, you might have to squint, but you can see the little arrow indicating that this is the end of this clip. So this clip has effectively infinite space in front of it. So it's going to take the entire length of this cross dissolve and kind of push it onto this image, which maybe that's fine, but you know what I'd prefer to do is not have that happen, have it be kind of even, you know what I mean? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just I did that silly, but you can just stretch this out inside the nest, you know, or if you had the foresight to do this, you can just sort of stretch it out here and then nest this as is. And then you can kind of like scooch this over. It doesn't really matter where this is because it's currently just a static image, right? And then we just have all this extra space. It doesn't matter that this has a bunch in it because we're just using the nest anyway. So now I can do a cross dissolve and it'll kind of be where I'm expecting it to. And now with all that said, I can keyframe this with the background and the foreground. And now I can kick this guy over as well. And now everything looks... Oh, you know what? I actually do see a quick thing because since this is technically a low opacity, we're seeing a little bit of a visual glitch here. So we just get rid of the middle underneath since we're not seeing the middle anyway, or the underneath anyway. And now it looks great.
To achieve the goals.
There's a quick little attention to detail thing. So for this very end part, it's like I feel like we
start today. You can do it.
Maybe you could find a picture of like a calendar inspirational. I'm just typing in calendar inspirational. Seeing kind of what sort of thing. And this is the kind of thing where you might want to like kind of sort of be careful because like these are like things being sold, you know what I mean? So depending on the kind of like you might want to like probably nobody's gonna like come after you or anything, but you know, you just want to be careful, as I said. Calendar nice. Calendar cloud. What do I get? What if I just type in today? Well, this is all for the Today Show. In any case, you get the idea. Like you would like find something that felt good to you, put this here, and then for these last two, I'm just sort of gonna punch in again and again. That's a little close, but
you can do it. You got
that. No, that's too close. That's too close. That's too close.
Hey, you can do it. You got this.
You got this. Okay. So now we have something that like, you know, again, the music kind of sounds crazy, but
hey, the only way to get good at something is to start doing it. It doesn't matter what it is. Once you start, you can keep going. Even if you're bad at it, it doesn't matter. You learn from your mistakes. So, the best way to live your dream, to achieve the goals you want to achieve, is to start today. You can do it. You got this.
And then no fade out, no fade in. The Today Show with Comfy O'Brien. I miss Conan. I miss Conan a lot. So, you know, this isn't like... I don't think that, like, I think that these things kind of will help, you know, retention and keeping people interested just sort of pretty dramatically. Other things that I think could help a lot is if you're able to get... This is a pretty cool background, but it's just a static image. So if you were able to get something that kind of, like, is moving behind you, I think that would do a lot of legwork. Like, if these things... Like, even like, I don't know how big the whole image is, but if you're able to, like, just sort of slowly spin the static image, like, that could be cool. Like, it kind of looks like it's got that vibe anyway. So that could help a lot, and Bob's your uncle, you know. So those are my thoughts on this sort of a thing. But the hook here, the most important takeaway regarding the hook situation is really just like never ever this, and you know, get going as soon as possible. You know, hey, like
the only way to get,
and then like, this could honestly be the kind of thing too, where maybe this makes a little more sense to not even have that. Hey,
the only way to get good at something is to start doing it. It doesn't matter what it is.
And then I think last but not least, just having a little bit less text on the screen at any given moment would make sense. Like, the only way, you know, you could break this up into maybe 3 or 4 different things. And that can also help kind of like, sometimes people don't want to, leave in the middle of a sentence. That's why a lot of people do it like word by word. I don't like editing that way. I think that's a little too gimmicky, even if it's like quote unquote effective. I don't like doing it. I think it's actively sort of not very good for the viewer. I'm not trying to edit at all costs, you know what I mean? I'm trying to make like good videos. And sometimes that can work, but I just feel like the one word at a time thing is just like, you know, it just like hits your brain in a particular way. So this next one is from Monsta VT on YouTube. So here we go. This one's also a little bit quiet. Let's maybe raise this up by 6.
He just called us little bitches.
Are you good? Bumpy, are you good? Are you good, Bumpy? Oh, it's on Sing. It's on Sing. Oh.
Okay. Oh my god.
So we left Bumby alone now. I didn't know it would hunt me right away. I don't think it likes me.
I am, for no particular reason, going over here. Okay. All right.
So, this is this looks like Phasmo. I'm not really very familiar with that game. I know a lot of people really like Phasmo. So some of this maybe take with a grain of salt, because maybe the context is to be assumed by the Phasmo sort of community, right? But with that said, I'm sort of like, I'm only like a little bit sure on kind of what's going on here. So like the hook, you know, quote unquote, is like, hey, here's, and it's visually dynamic. I do appreciate that.
He just called us little bitches.
But like the first thing we see is we have, this isn't even a second of, this is like probably too quick of a cut. What if I put this on the 50 mark? Yeah, this is less than half a second to see whatever this is. We don't really have time to parse what we've seen.
He just called us little bitches.
And then it's like I don't know, like maybe this is enough time to see that this is Phasmo. But it took me a minute to even get, and maybe it's not Phasmo specifically or another type of game like that, but so like I don't know what's happening yet. Like we have this line, you know what I mean?
He just called us little bitches.
And then we have this effect. And now we're in here. And there's a scary thing that happens, right? So
You good?
So this is all this whole short sort of like the middle of it is like this is the hype moment, is like this scare. They both sort of have a little freak out.
You good? You good?
And then I like the end.
I am, for no particular reason, going over here. Okay. All right. Going over here.
So for me, so I'm not really 100% sure how you would sort of add context in this. I think like in this instance it might be like you could maybe sort of have I'm not really sure, like you might be able to kind of cheat it by like this text says he, right? But you could maybe do something like they do in like newspapers or like quotes when they have to. You could kind of like change the he to the ghost. If in fact that is what's happening. I'm only sort of like, what is happening here? Why? Oh, no, I'm being silly. Yeah. But yeah, whatever, right? Like you just wouldn't have the word he here. Maybe that would sort of be enough, like, context. I think that this is just sort of too short. And nothing inside of it happens, really. Like, it's like, oh, there's a wall. You know. So maybe that would be the kind of thing. I'm also not, like, crazy sure how much, like, you'd be able to see this, like, is this just like a whole fountain of blood, or like whatever scary, whatever's happening here. It might just be worth it to, like, to start it on this, the scary noise, the hype noise, and then you kind of, like, do what you can to keep this in frame, because I'm assuming, right, that they have kind of more on the edges to work with here. Maybe not. Maybe they had to kind of work with the constraints of what they had recorded. You can kind of cheat things sometimes like this. It doesn't have to necessarily be one-to-one. If you wanted to, you know what I mean? Like, if you were like, oh, well, we're just gonna include the bread right there. You know, you can kind of, like, if you have this information, you can, like, keyframe it to keep it in the middle. And then it's just like, oh my god, what's happening? I'll also say, I know that Phasmo's a dark and spooky game, but, like, in instances like this, I feel like you can do a lot with, color correction. I'm not gonna go over to the color tab, because I don't want to screw up the setup here, but, you can still just get the Lumetri color, filter, and we can mess with it here. So, in this instance, it's like, we can infer this is blood, but everything's so dark and kind of muddy just because that's what the game looks like. That it might, we could maybe do a lot of work here with color correcting it. So, like sometimes, like, maybe the game could be a little brighter if you want to highlight something. What I'm specifically going to look for, if you go down, yeah, in curves, you have like these guys. And these guys can do you a lot of work if you are trying to be creative in a certain way. So we got hue versus saturation. There's a few of these. So we got the hue versus saturation, hue versus hue, which will change the colors. Like, it'll just change everything depending on, like, kind of how you do things. So if you want to, like, just change yeah, if you make a few points, we got the red here. If you want to change the blood to, like, blue or green or whatever, you can do things like that. And then you have a few other ones down here. But what I want to do is I want to make the red brighter. I want to make it, like, shine a little more. So this isn't, like, a big deal. And sometimes you have to be careful that it doesn't look, like, artifacty, because that doesn't look good. But you can kind of see, like, the difference. Like, it's subtle, right? But this is, like, getting across, like, it's blood. You know? So if we...
He just called us...
So, like, it might be the kind of, you know, like, people don't know what they're seeing yet, but at least it's like, oh, this is crazy what I'm seeing, versus, like, what am I looking at? You know what I mean? If that makes sense? And then, oh, this is huge now. Put that back. And then, after, you know, all that happens, we could say, like, and then we see the two of them. We get the context that they are both here. And I don't think we can probably not need to hang on this so much. I think sort of the middleist of this, like, the most of the middle of this, like,
You good?
like, we can kind of, like,
You good?
we can kind of, like, take this line, you good, I'm not like 100%. I think this is just like the non-answering.
Bumpy, are you good? You good? Bumpy, are you good?
Maybe, well, let's see.
Good, Bumpy?
Maybe we can do sort of like a, maybe we don't need this first, are you good? So we come,
Bumpy, are you good?
and then there's this whole other thing where it like gets her. And honestly, I think like, I feel like this doesn't like add like a lot. Like this isn't like, for me, you know, like this isn't like so funny as sort of the scare and the fact that like this last
I
bit,
am, for no particular reason, going over here.
like that's very funny, right?
Bumpy, are you good?
So like, let's tighten this up a little bit. We can kind of like maybe write on this word. We can overwrite that. And then maybe we can kind of.
I am, for no particular.
So then I think we can also kind of do like a slow zoom in, a slow zoom into like madness. You know what I mean? And we can add a small little shake to that. We will nest it, find our shakes. This is the one that will kind of like.
I am.
And then we can kind of like everyone's face. You know, you love them, the bamboo.
Bumpy, are you good?
I am, for no particular reason, going over here.
So I think that this sort of like this gets all of the comedy in the video. I know this is like significantly shorter than what was presented. So maybe there's a way to kind of like make that middle part feel more like it sort of for me it just sort of feels like this extra thing that happened. But again, I don't maybe I'm losing some context because I don't play Phasmo really. So there's that to kind of take this with a grain of salt. But you know, it's like, oh, a scary thing happened. They're laughing, they're frightened. They're too frightened to continue as they were. Like, boom, boom, boom. These are the story beats. And I think that kind of like tells a complete story without a lot of kind of extra stuff involved. So that's what I would do with that. I don't know if Lachlan's still here, but Lachlan's short is up next. So let's we'll just do this. So here we go.
Ligma, what the frick did you tell me to read?
Okay, this is an ASMR one, but I am gonna kick up the volume again.
The Fitnessgram Pacer test is a multi-stage.
So I'm gonna sorry.
Ligma, what the frick did you tell me to read? The Fitnessgram Pacer test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test that progressively gets more difficult as it continues. Hamburger. Is this thing on? As many bones as a human may have, I have at least 3 more than you? Captain, are you okay? I've been requested to eat my microphone, so...
How?
Oh god. Woo-woo. If this video gets 500 views, I'll do one for real. Ah, that's it.
Okay, so this one again, I think. Oh shoot, the main kind of issue with it is that I feel like I could use a little more context.
Ligma, what the frick did you tell me to read?
Like, we have... So, this is what we have. An idiot does ASMR. And that's, like, fine. But, like, this is popping up on screen, and this is popping up on screen, and the words are a third thing. And so there's kind of, like, almost too many threads pulling at me in any given direction. So, and this looks also pre-recorded. This doesn't feel like it was from a stream. Like, I think these look like they asked for things to say in Discord to record this video later. So, to that end, they have full, absolute, complete freedom to kind of form this however they want. So, kind of like what I would do in this instance is instead of this as the intro, I would just immediately and plainly spell out what you're about to watch. So it could be something like, you know, you could say like, chat sent me things to ASMR, to say an ASMR tone, or whatever the grammar would be. And then that takes up just like 2 or 3 seconds, maybe. You could zoom in on the face while you're saying that so that there's something visual happening. And then you jump right into the first one. And in this case, if that was the structure of it, so instead of this, like, I would almost just like, so let's cut off the beginning of this, because this is funny. Like, all these things are funny. And I almost feel like this first one is like, it's funnier than some of the things following it. Which I understand, like, it's like, oh, if you want to lead with your best foot forward. But I think, like, in this instance, leading with a few, like, things that are less funny to say, like hamburger, because you can get through a few of them much more quickly. And, I think that just at the top of the short is going to be, like, a better idea.
Hamburger.
So
Hamburger.
So let's see. We cut that off, and then there's a lot of dead air, of course. Like, this is good. I like the tap. Let's
Is this thing on?
like, that's funny. There's visual. This is like exactly what I would do. Like, boom, 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 push in. Even the best from more of a midpoint. Yeah. Like, this is very good. Like, if, you know, I know, again, we have the text here. Like, this might be the kind of thing where it's like, to make this even funnier, you could, like, kind of keyframe, maybe, like, just it like, zooming out in, like, a silly way. But the text would say normal, but, like, we could, kind of like, we'll nest that. We'll add this crazy shake. Actually. Yeah, we will. Maybe like that kind of a thing.
As many bones as a human may have, I have at least 3 more than you? Captain, are you okay? More than you? Captain, are you okay?
I think there's a couple ways we could go with this. Like, this, I'm not 100% sure what this means. It sounds sort of sussy, you know what I mean? I think that's supposed to be the point. So, like, you could do a thing like the classic Metal Gear, like, what? I'm gonna turn it down though for ASMR purposes. Maybe to like a 10.
3 more than you?
So, like, we could just cut straight there and add a sound effect here. But I think, like, kind of having Maybe if we start it about here. Then we just zoom in like real close. And then we don't need the whole thing. Maybe like another bamboo or just something. The bamboos are just so easy. I don't know what to tell you.
Captain, are you? Captain,
Maybe that's even too long. That feels too long to me. So we're gonna make it just a little bit shorter. I like to, if I'm cutting off the sound effects, sometimes I feel like making sure, even if it goes over a frame or two, it feels more natural. You notice it less that it's gone. If there's another loud sound to kind of cover it up. So I like to kind of do that when I'm doing these.
Captain, are you okay?
And then if you were doing that, the second frame would be zoomed out like normal. You zoomed it in because that's kind of the strat you took, and I think that's excellent. You know what I mean?
Captain, are you okay?
But if we were doing this zoom in here, then we'd want this to be different.
Okay. Okay. I've been requested to eat my
We'll take out this here.
I've been requested to eat my microphone, so. So.
I think just fast, just like not waiting for this build up.
So.
And faster than that. I feel like if we like if the idea is that you're super eager to do this, that's pretty funny.
Microphone, so.
I think we're gonna kind of change where the visuals change.
Microphone, so.
Oh. So here we go immediately. And then we'll cut kind of right back here.
Oh god. Oh god. Oh.
Let's
Oh god. Oh god.
right on the words.
Oh god.
Eating microphone speed run.
Woo woo. If this video gets 500 views, I'll do one for real. Ah, that's it. If this video gets 500 views, I'll do one for real.
I think I like effectively everything you've done. I like the zoom. You've kind of done everything in a way that I would probably do it, except that I would kind of like.
If this video.
I would start zooming here.
If this video gets 500 views, I'll do one for real.
You know, this is gonna look a little crazy, and then we just end it.
Ah, that's it.
We don't need the that's it.
If this video gets 500 views, I'll do one for real.
So you just zoom in real. This doesn't look that dramatic because I think I'm using this as the base, you know. But if we kind of like if we really zoomed in, very close.
If this video gets 500 views, I'll do one for real.
And then we're just out. We're out in the middle of that word. That's funny to me. So like, and then, so with that said, I think putting this one here
Pacer test is a multi.
kind of like makes the most sense. Is that?
Pacer test. Pacer.
Yeah, let's because you're kind of laughing at it. So let's kind of do this sort of a thing.
Okay. Pacer test.
I see what we've done. Because this starts here, so I guess we can't quite do that. But
Okay. Pacer test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test that progressively gets more difficult as it continues. Progressively gets more difficult as it continues. As it continues. As it continues. I've been requested to eat.
Yeah, I think that that's good. So then, like, if it's like, you know, if this first little bit is like, you know, Discord, my Discord told me ASMR or whatever, like in a few words, and then you immediately jump to this.
Hamburger. Is this thing on? As many bones as a human may have, I have at least 3 more than you? Captain, are you okay? Pacer test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test that progressively gets more difficult as it continues. I've been requested to eat my microphone, so... Oh god.
And then, like, honestly, I feel like, I know I go crazy with these, but, like...
So... Oh god. Woo-woo.
I think right after the smack. I think this is good if... But there's a little bit too extra on the after the smack, the lip smack.
Oh god. Woo-woo. If this video gets 500 views, I'll do one for real.
And then I think there you go. So like this one you were doing a lot of things in the same way that I would do them. I think it's mainly just a matter of like the things to improve on are kind of like just the timeliness of any kind of dead space, as well as making sure that what the viewer is about to see is like as clear as you can make it. I feel like we as a society of sort of we're all VTubers, so we're all sort of a little bit nerdy inherently. Absolutely, yeah. Thank you for the submission, Lachlan. I think that we don't want to spoil things, right? Like we want to like, oh well, there's a crazy thing that happens in this video, but like most people don't want to be so trusting. Like you have to make them interested at the beginning, because otherwise they're not going to see. You need to give them something that they want to stick around for, even if that like spoils the whole video, if that kind of makes sense. And this isn't really completely applicable to this in so much, but like it's kind of like the viewer needs to be spoon-fed what they're about to see. You see, like, the kind of most famous things you see on TikTok, it's like, do you want $10? Do you want to double it? And they're all, none of that's, it's all fake, right? But like, you know what you're in for. It's like, oh, I'm gonna fall, and then before you can even think about it, they've asked the second person, do you want $20 or double it? And then you're into it. You're like, oh, how far is this gonna go? You are inherently like, oh, I want to stick around. So I think like any short that you make, like you want to do your best, and if it's a story time video, you want to kind of like maybe spoil the end of it, like kind of at the beginning, like I got arrested, and then you tell the story of the time you got arrested, or like whatever, right? Versus like, okay, so one time I was, you know, and that's way less engaging. You don't know what the story's about. I've wasted a few seconds of your time. You have no idea if this is going to be worth your 60 seconds of time. You know, so I get the point. Definitely seems to be the way to go. Yeah, okay, I definitely had the. I just realized that none of the text is showing up on screen. It's supposed to. Hold on. Did I, where did it go? Oh, did I put it in this folder? Oh, I did. Oh, no. I made a mistake. Oh, there we go. Hey, there it is. All the text is supposed to have been there this whole time. Oops. This is my first YouTube stream. There's also supposed to have been alerts, so if anybody followed in that time, or I guess YouTube subscribed, sorry, but it'll show up now. It should show up now if you guys subscribe, during the stream. So apologies. I put it in a folder that was hidden by accident. I didn't realize I did that. I was trying to lower it in layers and I messed up. been like that for a while. It was right at the beginning, and then I moved it, and then I did a little oopsie do. We're gonna keep going. I'm just gonna take a quick bathroom break. And then we have a bunch more to go. We might not get through all of them. But I got a lot. I got a lot, baby. So I'll be right back. Let me just turn up the music. Yeah. All right, I'll be right back. I love you all. There we go. Hello. It is I. The boy, I've returned. Let's lower this. I like a tiny bit of music. Okay, I got an ice pack. It's like hot. It's like 10, it's almost 11 in the morning only, and it's like a warm day. All right, so this one comes from their YouTube. I don't think their VTuber handle is this, but it's their YouTuber name is rheart0. I'm alive! All right, here we go, babies.
I want to eat the food.
He's not hungry.
Okay, come here.
Okay, bugged rat. Look at him. Come on, bud.
Yeah, he doesn't want to eat the food, long story short. I'm gonna be really upset if we get to 9 rats, and that's the last one.
You know it is. You know it's gonna be that.
Okay, so again, repetition. I think this is one of those game. I don't know. There's like a few games like this. They're like $5 multiplayer horror games. Like I think Devour might be one of them. There's a couple other ones. I've played some of these games. These are not the kind of game that I like personally, but it's like you're supposed to, and I only know, so what I'm about to, if you've never played a game like this, what I'm about to explain is like sort of crucial to how the games work. You gotta like, there's like 4 steps, and you gotta like collect all the things, put all of one thing in one place, and then you have to go and get all of the second thing and do that, and then like a few other things typically, all while like a killer is chasing you typically. So you kind of have to like be careful, make sure nobody like dies. If somebody does die, you go like pick them up, but you don't really have like weapons, you know what I mean? You kind of just like collecting things and trying not to get attacked. So I think, and I only because I've played games like this, I think that for this one, you need to get all the rats to come down for one of the, they're like one of the collectibles. You gotta like leave food for the rats and you take the rats or like something like that. With all that said, if you'd had no idea about anything that I just explained to you, like, I feel like this short doesn't make sense at all. And again, maybe it's for an audience of these types of games, but like, even still, it's just sort of like, I don't really know what's happening. Like, I'm kind of just like we start off, we're in a hallway.
I want to eat the food.
He's not
Who are we talking about?
hungry.
He's not hungry. Who are we talking about? Laughing, triggered joke. What are we talking about?
Okay, come here.
There's that thing. We're still not sure. They got, okay, that's kind of cool. So now we finally see a rat.
Okay. Bugged rat.
And we're like kind of sorted now piecing it. Yeah, there's the food right there.
Look at him.
But it's like stuck on the stairs.
Come on, bud.
Yeah, he doesn't want to eat the food. Long story short.
Ah.
I'm gonna be really upset if we get to 9 rats, and that's the last one.
You know it is. You know it's gonna be that.
And then of course, like this like call to action hangs on for like ever. Glad you explained that because I didn't understand the cut. Yeah. So I'm glad that I have like, I haven't really. I played these games like once or twice, like ever. You know what I mean? But otherwise, it's just sort of like very, very confusing. And so it's just sort of like, yeah, if we just started with the and it's sort of a shame because I like a lot of the and I'm not sure kind of what this person's like model is. Maybe they're not showing themselves on screen just for whatever reason. I'm not sure, but yeah, if we like, we could kind of like okay.
Okay. Bugged rat. Look at him.
Yeah, there's just so much like dead air.
Bugged rat.
So I have sort of an idea. This requires like a Photoshop. Well, not necessarily. No, we'll stay in program. We'll do it all in program. Because maybe not everybody has Photoshop. So I think what I want
Okay.
to
Bugged
do here.
rat.
So we definitely want to cut this out. All this dead space.
Rat. Look at him. Come on, bud.
Yeah, he doesn't.
I think I'll just make a trimming pass like first, and then we'll kind of like.
Yeah,
We'll cut to here from right after come on bud.
yeah, he doesn't want to eat the food. Long story short. He doesn't want to eat the food.
I don't think we need long story short. I don't think that's adding anything.
Long story short.
We're like in the hallways, nothing's happened. There's like a groan, but like we can cut right to this person talking again.
Yeah, he doesn't want to eat the food. I'm gonna be really upset if we get to 9 rats, and that's the last one.
You know it is. You know it is.
I think I want to cut out this line.
You
I think we just want the you know it is.
You know it is.
And then we just get out. And I kind of explained already, like, I think this sort of thing isn't, like... I think this hurts more than it helps, in a short. So, if now... And I want to do some more still. So, what I want to do... And this is going to be a little kind of crazy, but... I'm going to... I think we could make this look a little cooler if you did use Photoshop, but I think what's gonna be cool is I'm going to, so we're gonna we're gonna disable this bottom track for just a moment because I just want to look. We're gonna mask this guy. But what I want to do is, we're gonna do a frame hold again, just so this is one solid image. In here, you can, it's defaults to fit the whatever size the window is. But if you want to get into the real nitty gritty, you can change this a little bit. So let's just change it to 200. We can get real up close and personal with this rat. And I'm going to create a mask. And we're going to first kind of shrink this down. So we have, nope. So we have a better idea of what we're working with. And I'm going to do a real slapdash job of kind of cutting this rat out. So you can kind of, you could do a better job of this, but we're just going to kind of keep it simple, keep it footloose, fancy free, you know what I mean? Let's, maybe, like a little bit hard to see, but, so yeah, maybe something kind of like that. So then we have that. So now, since we've done the, and I'll change this back to fit. So now we have this rat here, and we can do some fun things. So let's just say, what if we? Okay, I'm gonna Google like art background, and then we're gonna kind of just like we're gonna save something like this. This is, again, I keep saying this, but we're just kind of going, I don't want to like waste a ton of time like looking for the right image on stream, but we're gonna kind of have this kind of a thing. Maybe that's a little bit bright. Maybe we can, we'll add a Gaussian blur to this. And we'll kind of like, make it a little bit faded. I can also see, I don't really like the, by default, the masks, have, a tiny bit of edge feather. I'm gonna actually just get rid of it. Usually I think it's a good thing, but in this case, because of what we're doing, I don't think I want it. Coops, hello. This is Adobe Premiere. I edit almost exclusively in Premiere. Though I did make a video on how to get started with the other one. Wow, DaVinci Resolve. So since this rat is the star of the show, we're gonna. Oh, what happened? What I want to do. I'm gonna make another copy of it, I think, with the mask off below, because what I would like to do here is something like, oh shoot, I kind of want to have this guy come up into frame. So in like a fun cool guy way, you know. So I think what I'm gonna change these. If you click on your keyframes in here and you right click, you can set them to Bezier, auto Bezier, a bunch of these different things. They work with varying degrees of sort of success. Let me make this big. Once you've done that, you have these handles that you can adjust the ease in and ease out of all of these. So I think if it's like this sort of a thing, we're gonna try and see what this looks like. And some of this stuff can take a little bit of screwing around with. Yeah, that didn't look very good at all. So that kind of does that. You can kind of see that a little bit. And then truthfully, what I want this to kind of actually start before Or... So if we can add it, we type M to add a marker to something. So I know that this is right before the rat's about to get covered up. So I can put that here. So now this starts while there's movement. And I also see that I guess I chopped his little nose off. I want that nose, chat. So let's get back in there. Let's get back in there. And we can click on the mask to adjust it a little bit. Get that nose back on there, you know? Nose goes, babies. Yeah, and it is okay if... oh, I got his, like, little ears and stuff. I didn't do a very good job with this mask. So let's do a better job. That'll do. Maybe, like, that kind of a thing. Okay, alright. Hey, etc. Hello. Do I know you from Twitch? Hello. Okay, so we zoom back out. And so now it's like, so now that these hearts have kind of shown up, I want to add like the anime wow effect, and then we're gonna move this rat. We're going to keyframe the rat up. So if we start... Yeah, we'll start here. We'll just add key. I don't know if I'll use all these, but... I kind of want to slowly make the rat show up in the middle. And we're kind of just goofing. Like, I think this would be even better if, like, I had a moving hearts image or whatever, but, like... we'll just say, we'll keep it moving the whole time. And then what I would like to do, or keep it there, I want to add some text now. And I wanted to, oh shoot. We're going to the graphics for a second. But it's not going to be, we'll just pick a, oh, come on. Usopp works really good. Let's just sort of add a black stroke. We'll make it centered. And I think we can fill this with like a linear gradient. So I'm going to move this guy here. We're going to make this white. I'm going to go over to kind of this sort of shades of pink. We're going to make this a really, really light pink to start. And then we click on this one. I'm going to copy the value from this. Paste it in here. And then we can kind of see in real time up there. Maybe I can move this a little farther. And now we have like this really cool looking font, right? So now I have this thing that comes up. Why is snapping turned off? And I can say like rat, and then I can hold Alt and click and drag to duplicate this. We're going to go into the effects here, move the second one down, T for text tool, and then we're gonna say, I'm actually gonna keep this in all caps, F-R-I-E-N-D, rat friend. And then we have a rat friend, and then this can kind of like, I'm a little torn with the movement of the rat, because like I kind of want it to like settle down. You know what I mean? I'd maybe make this even significantly bigger. Rat friend. Friends with a rat. And then kind of do like this sort of a thing. The rat's over them, so that adds like a little bit of, I could even add like a drop shadow. Maybe that's a good idea. Drop shadow to the rat. You can mess, oh, actually, I see. I can't do that because it's masked, but if I nest it, we add the drop shadow to the nest. Yeah, dope. Okay, so we can, like, kind of increase the opacity of that. Give it a little bit of... And then once this is full, we're gonna, like, we're gonna kind of set these up. There goes the YouTube stream. Okie, hello! It's going great. I'm having a blast. How are you doing? Good morning, good morning. It's still morning for me, technically. So I'm gonna just nest these just so that, because I've done a bunch of movement on them. Maybe they would work with what I have, but we're gonna kind of like... I'm gonna kind of... Let's see. So we're gonna add these movement effects that I always use to both of these. So a bounce up and a fade in. So right now they're gonna look like that. But what I want is for them to be off center a little bit. Rat friend. And then it might honestly be the kind of thing that makes more sense to start like here. Rat friend.
Okay, but okay.
And then it's like, okay. So all that work to like focus on the rat. The rat is the star of the show. Miss Last Workshop, glad to be here. Hell yeah, I'm glad. I uploaded that as the newest video on this channel, the cut down version of that workshop. And I'm just gonna be doing these here going forward so that they'll be instantly VODed, you know what I mean? Where do people submit shorts for review? Right now, I've been asking for them on Twitter, but I would like to set up a more like permanent solution. I'm not really sure though. If you guys have ideas, somebody suggested maybe the Discord, but a lot of people don't want to join a Discord, so I don't want that to be the barrier for, you know, everybody's kind of just on Twitter. They'll see it on Twitter and they'll submit. But maybe it's the kind of thing where I can set up like a Google Doc or like a form or something like that where they can just like, people can just like submit their links or whatever. But I'm not super sure. But I want to set something up like that because I want to make it as easy as possible for people. And then after all of this is said and done, I kind of like... This might get a little crazy, but I kind of want to nest everything. Actually, yeah, no, oh shoot. I do want to do that. This might not work, but let's give it a shot. I want to give this a very light shake just to add a little bit. Since I think if like these hearts were like floating up, that would work. But
Okay.
no, I don't really like that. Let's undo that. Maybe we can maybe I can just like move the background a little bit. Like, I think we're at the top of it, but if I just sort of was very slowly zooming it in. Yeah, no, that works pretty good.
Okay.
So then, like, when the text and everything else is stopped, there's still something happening. Every streamer has a Discord. Well, I have a Discord, don't get me wrong. In fact, oh, I'm a silly Billy. None of my buttons work for this. I'm like, oh, what's the button? That's all tied up to Twitch. I forgot. But, yeah, I don't know how commands even work. I don't have a YouTube bot, I guess. I'll have to figure that out, for next time. But, if you go to my, you know what? Here, I'll pull up my, card. Anybody that would like to find anywhere that I live, I think I can post here this way. Yeah, that works. Hell yeah. Okay, cool. It's just comfycatboy.card.co. But that has everything. It has the Discord links, that has other links to all my YouTube channels, etc., etc. JTL, hello. All right.
Okay. Bugged rat.
Bugged
Okay.
rat.
Bugged rat.
So now we have this kind of a thing.
Okay. Bugged rat. Look at him.
Find a new
Come
one.
on, bud.
Yeah, he doesn't want to eat the food. I'm gonna be really upset if we get to 9 rats.
And then in this instance also, so this is the other idea I had.
If we get to
So we have something here, this like table flip thing. But I think once we get up to here, we have this rat, right? So I think it would be, so we're gonna copy this and we're gonna strip it of like all of its. You can remove attributes, so we just get rid of like everything. Oh, but it's nested. Wait. Is this the one that move? Okay, so we're actually copy this. Go back here. Remove the attributes on this. Is okay, and then shoot, wait a minute. No, we need the mask. Okay, hold on. I'm overcomplicating this. We'll just do it here so that we keep the mask and everything. Then we're gonna nest this because I want to add like a little background. So we're gonna add another drop shadow. We're gonna change the color to white. We're gonna change the opacity to 100, and that looks like, oh shoot, you know what? I need to go back to this. Here we go. We're gonna change this to white, but we're gonna change the distance to 0. And then if you increase the softness, you get like this back glow. I'm actually gonna lower the opacity quite a bit. There we go. So now it stands out against the background. Quick and dirty, like you don't have to think about it too much. What I want to do now is, okay, so right here, I want 10 rats to show up on top of this screen, right? So
we get to 9 rats. And that's the last one.
Yeah, we're gonna, okay, so we're gonna stretch this just out. I'm gonna make this go crazy out. So that we can stretch this as far as we need to make it. And now what I want to do, we're gonna nest this again. And this reminds me of what Catboy did to the rats of New York in '74. Me? Whomst? What? Okay, so now what I want to do is I have a, you can kind of keyframe this. Oh, we'll just keyframe it. So basically, right now this is in the middle. So we're going to set a scale and a position keyframe. And we're just going to make this real quick and dirty. So I'm going to kind of scooch ahead 4 frames. This is ultimately the size that we want this, right? So if we go back to the beginning, I'm going to lower it to 90% of its size. Oh, but here is the problem. Herein lies the problem. I want this to be centered. See, why is it all, why it gotta be like this? Can I set the anchor point? Where is my anchor point? I don't remember how, sometimes it like gives me the little, oh no, there it is. Okay. But I don't want, why is it moving? I want to move the whole thing. There we go. Nope. Why? Why must you do this? I'm supposed to be able to just grab this. I'm not sure. There, no? Oh my god. I don't know. It's supposed to let me. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now if I lower this, there we go. Okay. So that is Excellent. I don't know why these two are different, but that's okay. All right. So let's see. Hey, Tavo, thank you so much. I appreciate that. How are you? Okay. Let's see. So basically, I just want this to pop in. So we're gonna set this to 90. And then we're gonna go up. Is it following the? I don't know why it's doing this. Sometimes the anchor point stuff is like real fussy. Let's try and set the anchor point now. Okay. Now that there's nothing here, I think it was like trying to do stuff with keyframes. We'll put this on the center of the rat. I guess doing that first is important. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keyframe. We'll go back to the first one. Set this to 9. Maybe like 80. Maybe like we'll make it like significantly smaller. And then on this third keyframe, we're going to overshoot it. So I'm going to say like 110%. And then it's going to kind of bounce in me when ghost keyframes. It's actually. So it's just this real kind of simple little, and honestly, maybe this could be even more. Yeah, there we go. So it's got this little like this little so that's excellent. So now we have this little rat that's gonna do this. So I'm gonna nest this again. And now we are going to make 9 of these. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, not today, JTL. Not today. All right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then, so now we're going to have sort of this kind of arduous process a little bit of, I want there to be like 2 rows of 5. So I can kind of copy the motion, for 5 of these. And then we'll take the 5th one and kind of put it where I think the end's going to be. And then we'll have 1 in the middle. And this is kind of just to like gauge like how like the spacing and things, you know what I mean? So and then we'll grab this guy, and then to kind of make all of these fit even more, I think the second row, or wait, no, so we go to just to kind of make things as like perfect as possible as far as spacing. I'm going to copy the values again for that and then lower it. And then for these other ones, I'm going to copy this, but now I'm going to kind of go in, copy the second value. And this is super duper nitty gritty, but like, oh shoot. let's push this up so I can see what I'm doing a little bit. So we want the, am I crazy? Yeah, no, it's this value. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Why you do? Why is it doing that? Oh, I am being a silly Billy. Okay. Okay. No, it is this value. Okay. All right. We're doing it, gamers. All right. Boom. And then 3 here to this one, I believe. Yeah, and then the 4th one goes right there. So we're gonna have 9 of these pop up, and right now they're all popping up at once, but I'm gonna kind of like offset each one by 4. So each time the next one pops up, boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, shoot. I got invested in this. Somebody asked earlier, like, how funny, how much time do you spend on a gag? And the answer is this long. Boop, 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 boop. But this is kind of showing off a lot of different things, like how to make a big, like, complicated graphic as sort of simple and with as much recursion as possible, you know? So then I can cut off the ends here. So there's gonna be a 10th rat. But that one shows up later.
9 rats. So if we get to 9.
So that looks kind of good, and now I have all these pops. So I'm gonna actually, you can like, I have 9 of them. So I'm gonna kind of just drag them all in here. And then kind of just like put them all where they need to go. Yeah, come on. No? Okay. I'll do it manually. It's fine. No big deal. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. All right. Here we go. And then 1, 2, 3, 4.
So if we get to 9 rats.
So that, like,
if we get to 9 rats, and that's the last 9 rats,
and then on, and that's the last one. We're gonna make the 10th copy here. I'm gonna copy the x-axis from the 5th one. I'm gonna place that there. But what I want to be happening with this rat is now we're gonna quickly get like a no symbol PNG. So I'm gonna download. Is that? Are you fake PNGs or are you maybe like an X? Yeah, okay, we'll do this. Maybe an X makes more sense. So all right, baby. Okay, so now we have this X, and it's very big. But instead of a pop here, we can kind of have like a. I'm kind of have this one just fade in, maybe. See how that looks.
and that's
No, I don't like that. So maybe we can have this one come up from like big, large, like that kind of a thing. Fake PNGs are the worst. Oh my gosh. So we're gonna add like, I think I have like a buzzer. And this is like kind of loud, but we're gonna put this in here. Just real, oh shoot. Just real fast, and then we'll lower this kind of by a bunch. And
so if we get to 9 rats, and that's the last one.
You know it is.
And so now, instead of this, like, so all of this, and then to kind of clean up your timeline, once you've done like all this mess, you can once again just nest it. And then you, oh shoot, I didn't grab everything. There we go. You can just nest all of this, and now it's one layer instead of, you can then delete all empty video tracks. So now it just, you can just dump it back down to the bottom. And we can kick this back up. And for this sort of a thing, you could do that too. 5 isn't like egregious, but if you want to keep your timelines clean, which I highly encourage.
Okay, bugged rat.
So this is what we have now.
Okay, bugged rat. Look at him. Come on, bud.
Yeah, he doesn't want to eat the food. I'm gonna be really upset if we get to 9 rats, and that's the last one.
You know it is.
And so, like, we've cut out a lot of this, like, stuff that doesn't really matter. There was a lot of dead air. There was a lot of things that don't sort of pertain. It's like, what is the story here? Oh, the rat's bugged out. Like, that's funny. Let's give it some character. It's like, oh, what a cute rat. You know, he just wants to chill on the stairs, like, whatever. And we've kind of tried to make this more dynamic by adding this kind of a thing. And then once we have this graphic, like, we could even add, like, since we've nested it, we could kind of, like, have it just kind of chilling.
Upset if we get to 9 rats, and that's the last.
Like, they could kind of just be moving kind of independently.
You know it.
And that's that. That's that for that one. That is sort of my advice. I think adding the context somehow, like, I know in the middle of the stream it's going to be sort of impossible to just re-explain what's happening because you're streaming and it makes sense to everybody that's involved, but, like, for this sort of a thing, it's like, you know, otherwise I didn't know what was happening here, right? So I think making sure that it's clear as possible is helpful. I don't know if is Ov still here? I have Ov's up next. Ov gave us a real short and sweet one. Let's go for it. Oh, this looks loud enough. This looks good. Okay.
Possum. That didn't look like a possum.
Wait, was it? I didn't listen to this beforehand.
Possum. That didn't look like a possum.
You're here. Was this sped up? Did I download this bad?
Possum. That didn't look like a possum.
Oh, I think I might have downloaded this wrong. Hold on a sec. I'm sorry. That feels like something wrong has happened. Give me one sec. I'm sorry. Let me try again. Let me try once more. Doesn't look like the sound. Yeah, I don't know why that happened. Let me see. This will just take a sec. Ideally. Where did it go? Okay. Yeah, this.
That didn't look like a possum.
Oh, I guess this is how it is on Twitter, though.
Possum. That didn't look like a possum.
Oh, interesting. I don't know.
That didn't look like an.
Oh, weird. Okay. I feel like let's maybe we can fix it in here. Because I think it just got sped up for some reason. So maybe we can stretch it out.
Possum.
Here we go. Okay. I don't know why that happened, but
Possum. That didn't look like a possum.
okay. Well, this might not be like quite right, but we'll just work with it. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. But yeah, so the core of this is that this thing is supposed to be a possum. And it doesn't look like a possum. It doesn't look like a possum. So, let's see.
Possum.
And it's just like, you're like confused. And it's like, is that a possum? Are we super sure that this is a possum? And then you've zoomed out for like the joke right here.
Like a possum.
So I think the best way to sort of improve this, because it kind of goes by pretty quickly, and we don't get to see him like up close quite yet. So I think what if we cheated this now? Let's take this to here, because what I want is for this to, we're going to do a similar kind of a thing where I'm going to opacity the little passion boy. We're going to blow him up. Sugar, hello! I did your short near the beginning of the stream. We had a good discussion about it. How are you? And this is going to be, the VOD should be just available of this just immediately. So you can check it out whenever you like.
Possum.
So I think, oh, I did that. a frame off.
Possum.
I think we can do a lot of like bamboo to sort of signify, not that one, to signify confusion.
Possum.
Yeah, I think if you were, and again, I'm sort of working with the audio as it currently stands, so I'm not like crazy sure
Possum.
if this is like super accurate to what it will,
Possum.
what it would look like.
Possum.
But we can do like a another Metal Gear sound, because you're now on high alert. I'll watch the VOD and learn when I can. What you're still working on? Hell yeah, hell yeah.
Possum.
Maybe a little bit lower. Like 5 maybe.
Possum.
Maybe we can even like
Possum.
cut that out.
That's
Let's I like
that didn't look like an that didn't look like an a possum.
yeah, and then at the end here, I think I kind of want to put him back again.
Possum.
Like to contrast, you know? Right here. Let's stretch this out even.
Possum.
Maybe like a little bit shmola. A little bit shmola. Alright.
Possum.
Though it is hard to see there, so I'm gonna nest it. We're gonna add another drop shadow. Do the same thing I did a second ago, where we're gonna really crank it up. And sometimes I notice, like, with the drop shadow, you can only crank it up to 100 with this method. So sometimes if I just copy and paste it, it helps kind of darken it up. You can, like, increase the effect a little bit more and more.
Possum.
And then let's just, I want the sound effect to go with it.
Possum.
So now it's like, you know, for the quick, we've kind of like added, we've pointed a finger at a few of the things that sort of need pointing out, I guess, you know what I mean? So
Possum. That didn't look.
We could even add another, I think we add another, the second bamboo, the lower pitched bamboo.
Possum. That didn't look like an
And then I think what you were trying, you have this, you put a background in here, just so it's not black and white, so I think that is good. However, when that happens, this little joke, like, it kind of, like, it doesn't read as much, in my opinion, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna just cheat it. Or actually, I'll use a crop filter. To kind of, like, cheat, like, oh, that now there's not a background. So if we can crop to the edges of each thing, kind of roughly, and then, like, this might even be just, like, a little, if we kind of, like, faked, like, oh, it's a little bigger, oh, it's a little bigger, oh, we angled it a little bit,
look like an
and maybe a third bamboo. I like using the bamboos in succession. Uh-oh, my mouse lost. Okay,
look like an possum.
yeah, so now we have this. It's oh, I see what happened. It covered that up. Okay.
Possum. That didn't look like an possum.
So there you have it. Then you got this quick little guy.
Possum. That didn't look like an possum.
Oh yeah, the end noise Is a bamboo. Oh, okay. Hell yeah. Okay. Yeah, I guess Ov was telling me that I guess DaVinci it comes with built-in sound effects and kind of things like that. So that's really cool. I didn't know that, so that was excellent to learn. Oh, excuse me. Okay. We have this one now. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this person's name right, but they are. It looks like they're on Twitter. They're Lytason. Hey, thank you for submitting off. So this is what we got right now.
Sorry if I'm not reading chat. I'm trying to fight a Rubik's Cube, and I don't know where it went. Where the hell? Oh!
All right, so this one. Hey JTL, I need you to stop asking, bud. Okay, we're just vibing on the stream. Okay. Okay, so this one is this short is like everything I like a lot about it. I like where the text is. I like how the text looks. This is a Twitch call to action that I don't feel is very intrusive. In a general sense, I also like that there is a cool line break. There's a Zelda themed. I don't know how well y'all can see it. I'll zoom in. Maybe we'll go kind of to the end, but it's got like kind of like this Zelda themed, like kind of the way it kind of like spirals out in that way. So that's really all the design of this is A+, for me. And I think the biggest kind of thing about this is one of these ones where, and I think I don't really fault people, for kind of falling into this trap. I've fallen into this trap a million billion times myself. So if you're making a short, I think that like when you're coming up with what moments are good for a short, right? I have a video on like that your things should kind of follow some sort of an arc or a progression, but on top of that, I think a lot of people are like, hey, I'm playing a video game. The video game sort of did something funny happened like in the video game. And then like, and that's good enough for a clip. When I think ideally, you should be highlighting like funny things that you as the streamer have done, if that makes sense. And in this case, it's kind of like, oh, you know, like the joke is like, oh, I couldn't see where the joke is like, oh, it's a Rubik's Cube monster, like I don't know where it went, and then it was here all along. Like I kept missing it over and over. So I think that the best thing to do in this instance is to kind of like highlight the punchline a little bit. To that end, I'm not really sure what to do. Like this is kind of a short clip. So let's watch it again.
Sorry if I'm not reading chat. I'm trying to fight a Rubik's Cube, and I don't know where it went. Where the hell? Oh!
Because when it hits them, like, nothing like, you know, it just gets them, and like that's kind of just it. You know what I mean? So like, I think what we can do is. I think we can maybe like realistically, I think just sort of sound effect work is maybe like the best thing to do here. Or you know, or how about this? I have an idea. I have a kind of a crazy idea. I'm gonna download a Rubik's Cube PNG. And I think that maybe that ties everything together. Yeah, here we go. So let's save this. I think this is it. I think this is the answer. So alright, well that's a very big okay. So what we're gonna do is the moment that block, because now it's like, oh, I've done something funny. I've made this my own. Okay, there it is. So we're going to start it there.
Oh!
And then we're kind of gonna do like yeah, okay, we're gonna end it right at the end here. We'll just cut that down. So now we're just gonna we're gonna join the wide world of keyframing, everybody. So we're gonna start it here. And we're gonna, oh shoot, I'm gonna add a rotation also. And I'm just gonna kind of advance 5 seconds at a time. And then we're gonna kind of like, we might need to kind of mess with this as we go. But I guess let's make a size keyframe there. Make this a little bit bigger. You plan on all your streams on this channel? Just the editing streams would be here. I'm not like moving to YouTube or anything. Like I'm still gonna be streaming on Twitch for kind of like the weekdays streams or any kind of regular streams. But the editing ones, it makes the most sense for me to kind of be doing them here. Because I just want to have them be here anyway, but I don't want to, like, upload a 3-hour video. But if it's a stream, then YouTube likes that better, you know what I mean? So, oh, shoot, actually. I gotta be careful if I'm adjusting anything to make sure I have made a keyframe right before. So now the joke, like if you know Zelda, you know that these things are just like big cube monsters. So you get it, but you're not expecting a Rubik's Cube, you know what I mean? So now yeah. I like this concept of workshopping people's edits. Do you get a chance to submit one? But next time, yeah, I would love that. Twitter's gonna be the best place. Do I still have? Well, in any case, yeah. That right now I'm asking for them on Twitter whenever I do. So keep an eye out, and for that. But I'm looking to figure out like a more sort of permanent kind of a solution. Where I can just send a link and that link is always there, that kind of thing. I know that you can kind of see the corners of it peeking out, but I think like this doesn't need to be like actually that convincing to sell the joke, you know what I mean? It's gonna bonk Link. Just bonk him. Right there. And then we're kind of rotating it. You kind of get the idea. I'm probably not going to finesse this after, but like finessing it is going to be the thing that's like going to, you know, make this like double funny and trouble. Okay. All right. Yeah, kind of like right there. Boom, boom. Rubik's bonk. Whoop. I spent 100 hours working on a video about the Rubik's Cube cartoon. And then and then it didn't get that many views on my main channel, which is fine. I'm not bitter. But I'm getting Rubik's Cube flashbacks. I think I actually this a little bit smaller. A little bit smaller. There we go. It was hilarious. I liked it a lot. But it was also a 40+ minute channel on, or a video on a channel with nothing but like 5-6 minute videos. It wasn't, YouTube didn't know what to do with it. What? Okay. And then we can kind of just, like, cheat the rest of this, right? It would probably get a little smaller. But then we have something like this, right? And then also, once it hits him, I'm gonna add an oof. Maybe like right here.
Oh.
So like I feel like this is a game changer now, and that didn't really take us like that long. So it's the most scufflow effort. This gets the big views.
Sorry if I'm not reading chat. I'm trying to fight a Rubik's Cube, and I don't know where it went. Where the hell? Oh.
That's like so ridiculous to me. That's so goofy. That's silly. Okay, so you know what I mean? Like, now it's like, you think you know what you're about, assuming you know about the new Zelda game, right? Which I think like most like video game people do. They're at least familiar with what's going on.
Hell? Oh.
That's so dumb. Okay, I think that this is now, I was sort of like struggling with like what might improve this, and that only took a few moments, you know. Okay, I'm pretty happy about that. All right, next we have Koops. I think we're probably gonna end on Koops. And is Koops still here? Koops was here earlier. Maximized efficiency. Hello. All right, so this is the raw one. I lowered the volume on a swear word already. I'm trying to keep these YouTube streams as swear-free as possible.
All assaults need a good plan. First, we strangle them.
Oh my
show
God.
Them and watch
Oh
them
my-
beg for mercy. That'll show it.
Oh, huh?
No, wait. Strangling is too kind.
What? She's like 12.
We smash them together into mush and put their remains in a jar.
You know, hey, we're here. What else we doing?
We
Okay, so I think this is good. I think I think like the things that are happening here are funny. A little bit of tightening up, sort of as always, but no, you're fine. A lot of the shorts have swears. I'm just sort of, if there's already like an edit here, I'm just like kind of explaining, right? But I think so. Right now, so I'm always talking about like how captions are critical, and you have captions down here. In a general sense, as I kind of mentioned before, like I don't think they should be this low. But I see that you've also you're trying to split the difference between like a caption and like a note to the audience. And I think that perhaps there's like a better way to illustrate that. You know what I mean? Like I think having like words that aren't like, sometimes in this instance, if there's no other text on screen, you can get away with like asterisk kind of a thing. However, basically what my main note for this is going to be, and I don't know that I'm going to type all this out or anything. I know that she has her text up here, but I think that you should caption this character. Is this from A Hat in Time? Or what game is this from? It kind of reminds me of that vibe. And if you're doing that, that also solves the problem of like this sort of being like this static image. Like I see that you have, I imagine that this part is like your overlay, and then maybe you've kind of like zoomed out the overlay even more to make it fit. You wouldn't necessarily have to do that. You could do a kind of a thing where it's like, you know, you have, let's make a few copies of this. We will, we'll kind of real sloppy. We'll get the girl in there, and then like, you know, you could have something where it's like, whatever's on this blackboard kind of a thing. You can just kind of like, you know, pan over while you know, maybe you have her at the top or the bottom. Kind of, you can get away sometimes with putting like the people at the bottom, even though like on TikTok at least the text's gonna cover it up, because then you can kind of like put the text itself like in the right place. Oh, it saved it from earlier. Dope. So you can kind of have the text. This is a little big, but you can have the text kind of like here-ish with what she's saying. It is ad in time? Okay, hell yeah. Is the blurred like background just to fill the space? Okay, totally, yeah. It felt like that was probably the case. But you could do something like this to oh shoot. So now this, and I imagine you probably had more of the blackboard on the screen, right? So you could do the whole thing, but
All assaults need a good plan.
and then the viewers like really know exactly where to pay attention to, because like as is, there's this text, which again, like I think putting this kind of thing front and center is doing you a disservice, because like now there's two things to look at. It's like there's text here, there's text here. I don't know what I'm supposed to read. Maybe I just don't read anything. Kind of, you know what I mean? So it's like already we're like a little bit confused. And then part of it's like this kind of doesn't feel like the thing I'm supposed to read because it's cut off. You know what I mean? So can you do that in DaVinci? You can make titles in DaVinci, certainly. I totally didn't know you could. Oh, the mask. I would imagine so. I'd be surprised if not. You could at least crop it. But I would have to imagine there's some sort of mask feature in DaVinci. If not, I feel like that'd be a disservice. There might be DaVinci uses plugins, I'm pretty sure. So if not, I'd have to imagine there's a plugin you could get. Because like a mask is sort of a pretty common editing thing. Though I will say I did look like you needed to pay for the full DaVinci to have access to like speed changing. So I'm not 100% sure. DaVinci's really good, but the things that it limits are a little interesting. So that kind of thing I think would help this a lot. Just adding the text on screen for everybody involved, no matter what. Even if, and I say that sometimes for chat, like a lot of times, like you can just put a chat message on screen. But what I've seen a lot of times is like, it's just better to kind of type in the same font and the same everything, maybe just changing the color to illustrate what chat has said. If it's like crucial to the plot of it, you know? So just so like people just like, you're removing more and more any chance that the viewer is gonna like get confused, and if they get confused, they're not gonna stick around, right? So that's the kind of thing that these are kind of like the small things that I would suggest on this, because everything else, like there's not really any sort of. I think the content is good. Like I think you can like. If you wanted to, instead of like this, you could maybe just have some like, you could kind of animate some like little Z's coming up, maybe like a snoring sound effect, maybe put a sleeping mask on. I'm just kind of spitballing, right? Like any of these sorts of things. Get that out of here. And then like when you wake up, instead of just like telling what's happening, you know, you have a sleep mask and then you like keyframe the sleep mask, like blow it off of your face or something like that. And then maybe you zoom in, you do like a Metal Gear sound effect, and you're just like, what? You know, that kind of thing. And then with each escalate, you know what I mean? Like you can kind of like play with that kind of a thing. You can def mask in DaVinci. Okay, dope. I would have been surprised if they didn't have that, but I wasn't like crazy sure. So these are just kind of like the kind of things. Otherwise, besides that, I really think like everything, the pacing's pretty good. Like, let's see about trimming it up a little bit.
First, we strangle them.
Oh my
Show
God.
them what
Oh
you
my-
beg for mercy. That'll show it.
Oh, huh?
No. Wait, strangling is too kind.
What? She's like 12.
I don't even think this is like that egregious or anything, but like I could say just taking out the what. Just coming in on like she's like 12.
Is too kind.
With a J cut here.
Strangling is too kind.
She's like 12.
We smashed.
And then we just cut immediately to her hitting the chalkboard or whatever. Just real fast.
She's like 12.
We smashed them together into mush and put their remains in a jar.
You know, hey.
Yeah, and then this also, like, this is just dead air.
You know,
I'd also, in a general sense, I advise against, like, you've started the text, like, on this frame. But, like, realistically, like, it should be over here, and or you'd start, you know, you put your image here first. I think when it's like this, it's barely noticeable, but I feel like people pick up on stuff like this, and it's jarring.
you know.
So like if we just get rid of it, it's like.
No, hey, we're here. What else are we doing? What else are we doing? What?
And then I think like right on the end, like you just do like a zoom. What else are we doing? Kind of a thing.
What else are we doing?
So I think these are kind of like the, you know, that wasn't like night and day different, but like.
Oh, huh?
No, wait. Strangling is too kind.
She's like 12.
We smashed them together into mush and put their remains in a jar.
No, hey, we're here. What else are we doing?
Hell yeah. So I think, you know, like the two main things are like trying to show, not tell as much as possible. Sometimes you have to tell, but like, I think describing what's happening on screen, unless it is like impossible to understand otherwise, like sometimes you can get away with it at the very beginning. If it's like, whatever, you're for an example, like you're playing Pokemon, you're shiny hunting, if like that's crucial to the plot, you could have that on the screen at the top for like a couple seconds in the first like section to just give that context. Things like that, I think, are kind of when you can get away with that sort of thing. But otherwise, like I really don't I don't really feel like it's ideal to use text in like this way. If you can get away with it, because like the ideas that I spitball, like the sleep mask and all that stuff, it's kind of like it helps you be more sort of creative, and not to say this isn't creative, you understand, but like the confines of not being able to use that text crutch, I guess, if that makes more sense, really, what is the term? It's like you get more creative when you're more limited, but like whatever that expression is. You know what I mean? Taking out the dead air helps, yeah. Because it wasn't that bad, but like any little thing you can do, and doing these J cuts, it's so important because you get away with like a lot.
She's like 12.
It just speeds things up. It's like any semblance of dead air is just like not happening. And then yeah, you asked about sound effects. It makes me want to grab some more sound effects. I think the next YouTube video I'm going to create is going to be all about sound effects. Making more out of less. Yeah, exactly. So, I'm probably, maybe tomorrow on Twitter or something, I'm going to be, I think that's going to be the last one for the day, so we'll go back over here. I'm going to be, posting on, I'm going to post my link here again in the chat, but I have to go over here. Woo. Okay. There it is. So if you guys aren't following on Twitter already, I would highly suggest doing so. You do what you like, it's fine, but like Twitter is typically right now where I am posting a lot of these questions. I am trying to use the YouTube post thing a little more. But I don't really know like kind of how visible those are, if that makes sense. So so I'm not sure. I'm gonna try a couple things, but I'm gonna ask everybody kind of any sound effects, sound design questions they have, and I'm gonna try and record something kind of middle of this week, to maybe release in like 2 weeks, a couple Fridays from now. So hey babies, thank you so much for hanging out today. I hope you had a good time. I hope this was informative, enlightening. We didn't get to everybody's shorts today. I don't necessarily know when the next time I'm gonna do one of these is gonna be, but I would like to do one minimum like once a month, if not more than that. So cause this is fun. Like this, it's sometimes like it's weird to say, but sometimes like thinking of a game to stream and like figuring out a game and doing all that stuff, like that's like emotional brain work that like I sometimes don't have the brain for. But this, even though it's like more work, like actually it's so much easier for me to do, since I know like all I have to do is like edit, and I know how to edit, right? So like I love you all to pieces. You don't raid on YouTube, or if you do, I don't know how. So we're just gonna end it here. I love you all to pieces. I will see you next time. And I hope you have a lovely rest of your Sunday. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. I'd wave, but I can't move my hands. Oh, no. Oh, dear.